It ended, but it never even began. That's the cruelty of almost relationships. They haunt us like ghosts of something we never truly had. Unlike a breakup, there's nothing official to grieve, no clear ending, no closure. Just this silent ache that lingers, reminding us of what might have been. We've all been there, haven't we? That one connection that felt so alive, so full of promise, but never made it past the almost. Maybe it was a friend you secretly loved. Maybe it was someone you dated briefly, but never defined. Or maybe it was someone who felt like they were meant for you, but timing, distance, or fear stood in the way. You laughed together, shared secrets, and dreamed in unspoken ways. Yet somehow, the story ended before the first chapter was even written. The hardest part isn't just the loss, it's the unfinished story. With real relationships, there's a beginning, middle, and an end. You know why it failed, you have something to point to. But almost relationships? They leave you stranded in uncertainty. You're left replaying every detail, analyzing every word, every glance, wondering, was it all in my head? Or did they feel it too? It's like reading half a book, only to have the pages ripped away before you know how it ends. Psychologists say almost relationships often hurt even more than real ones. Why? Because they live in the space between reality and fantasy. When a relationship fails, you grieve what was, but with an almost you grieve what could have been. And that's far more dangerous, because your mind fills in the blanks with perfection. You imagine the trips you never took, the holidays you never shared, the love story that never existed. You don't just lose a person, you lose the possibility of a life that felt so close, yet never truly belonged to you. The pain of an almost relationship is quiet, but relentless. There are no big fights to replay, no dramatic goodbye to heal from, just silence. Did they care as much as you did? Were you foolish for holding on? Or were they holding back too, just as afraid as you? The absence of answers becomes its own kind of torment. And silence. Silence is the loudest heartbreak of all, because it forces you to finish the conversation in your own head again and again. So often, almost relationships are less about love and more about timing. You meet the right person at the wrong moment. Maybe they weren't ready. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe life was pulling you in different directions. Timing. It's the invisible villain of so many almosts. And yet, because timing feels out of our control, it leaves us with an ache that asks, if only things were different, would we have been extraordinary together? But here's the hidden gift. Almost relationships teach us. They teach us about our own desires, our capacity to feel deeply, and the kind of love we long for. They make us more self-aware. They push us to realize this is what I want. This is what I won't accept. This is what love should feel like. In many ways, they are rehearsals. Painful, yes, but powerful. They leave behind blueprints, helping us recognize true love when it finally arrives. Moving on from an almost is hard, because you can't wait for closure that will never come. Instead, you have to create your own. Moving on means learning to accept the unfinished. To say to yourself, I loved I felt, and that's not wasted even if the story never unfolded. You don't erase the almost. You honor it, and then you let it rest, because your future deserves space to grow without the shadow of what never was. So if you're hurting from an almost relationship, remember this. It ended, yes, but in truth it never even began. And that means your story, your love, your real beginning, is still waiting for you. Sometimes the heartbreak of the almost is simply life's way of preparing you for something real, something lasting, something worth all the waiting. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe for more stories like this.